Okay guys, I'm back. So this is kind of going to be a design on the fly. So this is my mix that I got from the JJB Beads Ambassador Kit. And I'm going to try and throw together a necklace. I kind of put this guy on a head pin. This is from last month. But I didn't know what I was going to do with him because he's so big. He's about the size of a quarter and quite heavy. So I put him on a head pin with his little crown and a little black bead. So that's what we're going to do with that one for now. And then I wanted to incorporate this really pretty rose, which is also from last month. It's beautiful. Maybe these gemstones. I'm not positive yet. I kind of got a little design going on here, but this is the rest of the beads. And I pulled a few beads, like these black ones, these cube black ones, from another JJB bead mix that I had. So, and these little squares or rectangles up here. And then that chain is from the bargain bead box. That's just where I could find chain quickly. So then I'm also going to use some wire. This is actually from Curated Bead Box. And I just figured I could use some of it up. But the rest of this, these are some spacer beads from my own stash. I don't know if I will use them at all, but I had them out in case I want to. And then the rest of this is all from this month's JJB Bead Ambassador Kit. So we are going to throw together some strands because I want to make a 3-strand necklace that's sort of floating. Well, it's sort of got the strands are kind of floating on it. I will show you. But it's a design on the fly. So that's what I'm going to do. And I actually forgot something. So I'm going to use these wire guardians that I have. Just because it'll make it look a little nicer. So I'm going to get a couple of these out. You might also need some tools and some crimp beads. So just keep that in mind. This can be made with any kind of kit. I'm doing mine in like a black and white theme so that it's sort of Halloween-y, but I can wear it with other things as well. So that's what I wanted to go for. So first we're going to put on, excuse me guys, I'm sorry. First we are going to put on our strand, and this is just regular tiger tail. We are going to put a crimp bead on, and I actually have the crimp beads that turn into actual beads because I wanted to see how those worked out on this design. So I'm going to pour some of these out. So we're going to put a crimp bead on. Then we're going to put our wire guardian on. It's so hard to do this through the camera. So we're going to put our wire guardian on, and you're going to take it over the other side of the wire guardian and back through the crimp bead. There we go. So you want to slide that up, slide this into your crimp bead, this end. It's being difficult for me. So I'm sorry I banged my hand up, by the way. I have a blood blister here, and yeah. And forgive my nails. They are terrible. They just fell off, and I need to go get them redone. But I have not had a chance to with my new job. So, if we use these crimp beads that turn into beads, sorry guys, let me see if I can get you focused. Okay. So if we use this like this, we are going to, I'm going to pinch my crimp or my wire guardian together a little bit, and then just make sure that your wires are not crossed in there. And then I have this fancy dancy tool, and this is what turns it into a bead. You can get these at Hobby Lobby or on Beadalon, or I think you can get them on Jesse James Beads as well. And they take a special type of crimp bead. You can't use just any old crimp bead because it needs the thickness and the length of a certain type of crimp bead. And actually, I wanted to go up here. So then what I'm going to do is I am going to put this into this little hole right here, and you're just going to squeeze. And it makes this shape right here. It's like a square with the edges sort of moved. Then you're going to turn it to the side, and once again, squeeze. Then you'll turn it again, squeeze, turn it again, squeeze. And you just keep turning until you have a ball. Until you have what you desire. Okay. And that's not the most perfect, but it is decent. Then you just want to test and make sure you can't pull that. So just give it a good tug. Make sure it's not coming out. And once you're satisfied and happy with it, we can move on to the next one. So since that's now an actual bead right there, then when you thread things on, it looks like it's part of the design. So what I have so far on here on my bead mat for my first strand is this look. I'm not sure if I'm happy with it or not. And actually, I think I am going to go with these flat coin beads here instead of those. And we're going to throw in a couple of these rhinestone spacers right here. So, let me throw this on this strand and let's see how it looks. I'm not sure if I'm going to like it or not. Then I want to put this, and then this. This. Sorry guys, like I say, still trying to get over this cold. Okay, so this is what I have so far, and I'm actually going to trim off this extra. So you just come in here with your flush cutters, and you just trim as close as possible to that other bead. And make sure not to cut your other strand, because I have done that. And these don't want to cut for me. There we go. Sometimes those can be very finicky. Okay, so this is what I had. And I don't think that this is long enough. I have a longer neck. And so I kind of want it a bit longer. So I think what I'm going to do instead of putting my cubes there, I think I'm going to put these lengthier beads here. And I do have two extras of these beads. So I think I'm going to incorporate those as well. So then we had this, and we had a rondelle spacer, and we had this, a rondelle spacer, this, and this. And then maybe I can put on let's put on another one of these. And a rondelle spacer that I'm going to drop. Okay. Rondelle spacer. And I think I'm just gonna, oh, I missed one. Okay, give me just a second, guys. I forgot to put my black bead on. Okay. And I think I'm just gonna repeat that pattern. So we had that this lined bead, a black bead, a white bead. And actually I don't like that. So give me just a second. I'm sorry, this is designing on the fly and I don't like that. So let me put one of these back on here. This bead. And yes, I think I'm going to just repeat. No, I'm not. I don't have enough beads for that. So let's do like say, I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. But since I don't have enough beads to do that again, I'll put on one of these white beads, a rondelle spacer, a crystal rondelle spacer, a bead cap, a pearl, another bead cap, another rondelle spacer, another white crystal, and this other striped bead. So that's going to incorporate just a couple of black beads, which still looks nice. Okay, so I'm going to say I'm happy with that. Then I'm going to put on another wire guardian. Whoops, that is not what I wanted to do. I'm gonna go up. And I messed up on that as well because I need a bead, a crimper bead, then one of these. Then I'm just going to slide this on down. And I've got to watch my crimp bead because it wants to slide in that other bead. So see how it tried to slide in. Okay. And I'm just going to take my round nose pliers and sort of put it inside. But make sure that your crimp bead does not go in your bead like mine is trying to do. And once you're satisfied with that, crimp it down. So that's what mine will look like. And I am satisfied with that, so I'm going to crimp it, turn, 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 and just keep crimping it closed until you've got a bead. And then, like say, this bead wants to come up over that. And this isn't super, super tight. You might see a tiny bit of my wire because I was trying to fiddle with that crimp bead there. Oh, and then I'm just going to take this down through a bead or so, and then I'm going to cut it off. So that is what we're going to do for our first one. And like I say, this doesn't want to work for me today. And if these beads are not over top of their crimp beads, then this is the perfect length. So there's that one. And I'm going to make another one really quick off camera, and I will come back in just a second with our second strand. Give me a second, guys. Okay, guys, I'm back. So I did a little extra prep work just because my kids came home and I don't want to spend an hour doing this video. So I did some prep work. I put this on a pin and I wire wrapped the top, but not the bottom. I did the simple loop on the bottom. Then I did one of these gemstones and wire wrapped it. It's pretty heavy, so I wanted to go ahead and wire wrap the whole thing for that one. Then I went ahead and did my strands up. And my order changed just a tad because one was shorter than the others. So, and then I've started my 2 strands over here with my wire guardian and my crimp bead. So that way I can go ahead and just string things up. So we're going to do another one of this exact pattern right here. So this is what I decided on pattern-wise. So we're going to do another one of those. And I had a cat's eye bead, a pearl, some of these potato chip beads, and I know, funny name, but since they are like that, they were referred to as potato chips because they kind of remind people of potato chips. Then we are going to do a black, oh wait, I missed one. Where's my other cat's eye bead? Okay, cat's eye bead. I missed two. Okay, before cat's eye bead, a pearl, then a cat's eye. I want it to look the same, so I don't want it to be all wonky. Then we are going to do a black square, a black cube, this big metal spacer bead, another black cube, this larger opal-like rondelle, this little black rhinestone spacer, and this other opal rondelle. So here's our pattern. I think it's pretty. And then I'm just going to add a crimp tube and my... Oh, and I messed up on that whole thing, you guys. Okay, so what I didn't do, I don't know if you guys noticed or not on this one, was on this one I put a little metal spacer bead at the front so that I wouldn't go over my crimp bead. So I'm going to do that again. Let me pull it off really quick, and I'm going to put it back on with those. And sorry, we have a little child in our house right now, and he's crying. I don't know why. But he's not happy. Okay, then once again we'll put on our chip beads and pearls. The last cat's eye. Oh, and I'm not even in camera. I'm sorry, you guys. Okay, then we're going to do our cube, metal spacer, cube, large opal rondelle, black rhinestone spacer, and another large opal rondelle. And I'm sorry, you guys, I'm right beside the door that people just went out of. My daughter had asked to have her friends over, and I said yes, but they had to be very quiet. They are not being very quiet. Oh, and I was about to mess up again. Okay, so I missed that little metal spacer bead again because I didn't have it laid out. Then I needed my crimp tube and my wire guardian. So it sounds like they're coming back. So I'm sorry about the squeaky door. If they come back inside. Okay. We're gonna squeeze this wire guardian together, and then I'm going to use my magical crimper and we're going to crimp that. And that's what this tool is called. It's called a magical crimper because it turns your crimp tube into a bead. However, the bead is small enough to fit in some of the holes of some of the bigger beads, which is why I had put a little spacer bead on there just to give it some leverage. Okay. Then I'm just going to cut off my excess up here. And I had decided that that was going to be become our top now. So now we have one more row to do real quick. And for it, I did a cube in the opal color, or white, whatever you want to call it. Then I'm sorry, I come out of frame again. Give me just a second, guys. Okay, I'm sorry, I needed to cough. So then we're going to put on this little spacer bead and make sure that it goes on your little extra tail that you have here. Another cube. Okay, then we're going to have this bright, sparkly crystal round spacer, a pearl, a black rice bead, another pearl, another fancy crystal spacer, a little white rondelle with a luster, a crystal rondelle spacer, this coin bead in cream, spacer, another rondelle, and a cube, a little spacer, a cube, a lava bead because I needed to lengthen this, another fancy crystal spacer, and another lava bead. So this was my pattern for on the other side, or at the bottom I should say, and it is the same as this side. So I just need to add a crimp tube, a wire guardian, and then crimp it, and we'll be ready to start assembling. And this is going to be a funky, gothic, Halloween-y type necklace. However, since it is in black and white, you could wear it any time, especially if you switched out the skull. So that was my goal. I'm kind of making a Halloween necklace, but kind of not. Okay. Now I just need to crimp. We're going to pinch our ends together. Get out our magical crimper here and crimp. You've got to keep turning it and keep turning it round and round until you have the shape that you are looking for. And we just want it to become a bead like that. So now that that is done, we can trim off our extra thread here, or wire. Well, even more specifically, tiger tail. If I can get my trimmers to work, they don't want to work for me. And here is our other pattern, and we just lay it there. So this is kind of what it's going to look like. And I told you I pulled some chain from one of my bargain bead boxes. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to layer some chain in between here as well. So we're going to have some chain here. And I don't want it super duper long, just enough to drape a little bit. So we're going to call that good right about there. And I may even have to cut some more links off. I'm not sure yet. But we shall see. And so your best bet when you're doing this is to find yourself a head pin or a ball pin, whatever you have handy, which I happen to have a ball pin, and put your links on it. And after you have your links on it, you can hang it, and you can find exactly where your next cut should be on the chain. So okay, let's try this again. I got kicked off of my video. So I did my 2 pieces of chain here, and then I wanted to do 2 small pieces of chain between the other as well. And we want it to slightly drape. So I'm just guesstimating here. And we'll just cut it off right here. Okay. Then we will measure it and get the exact amount to put on the other side. And I let it lay, so I messed up. So one link I've got to cut off. So cutting that link off, then I've got these 2 pieces of chain to put here. So then I have this additional chain that I can use on the back of the necklace. But let's assemble all of this. So, I have a couple of connectors that I think I'm going to use. If I can find them. These are in a different Jesse James Beads. And actually I've decided not to. Give me just a second, guys, and I'm going to find a connector that I like. Okay, so I found these in my stash, and I'm going to go with them. They're kind of gothic-y looking, I think. So we're going to go with that. And what I want to do from there is I am going to put... I'm going to put a jump ring And I'm using the jump rings from the curated bead box because they're nice and sturdy. I'm going to put a jump ring on the bottom skull here. And then I'm going to attach these two to it. And close it up really good. Okay, so then I've got this. Then from there, I am going to put another jump ring up here on my rose. And I'm going to put my chain from it. Okay, and then we're going to close this jump ring. I also put this jump ring through my skull. Oops, sorry guys. And I lied, that is not going to work. Okay, so I guess I'm going to add an extra jump ring through here. So I need to open this one back up and take my chain out because I want the chain to be up by the rose. So if I'm going to add, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm not even on camera. If I'm going to add another jump ring, then I'm going to add my chain and my rose to that jump ring instead. And let me see if I can get all of this off. Okay. So then, when I add my other jump ring, I want to just hook it onto my skull. Hook it onto my skull. I'm sorry, you guys. And close it right back up. And not exactly on the skull, the jump ring attached to the skull. I'm sorry. Okay. Then make sure it's closed really good and tight. And from there, we're going to hook on this other jump ring and our chain. And our rose. To this other jump ring. Which is right there. And I dropped it. Okay, and we're going to close that up and see if this works. If it doesn't work, we will find a different way. Just make sure that your jump ring's closed really tight. And you want your chain to go out to either side, just like your other strands. So then, I need to do the same thing on top of the rows, except this time I'm going to add strands to it. And that's going to be these strands. Then I am going to close this jump ring, I think. Close this jump ring really good and tight. And then we need 2 more jump rings. One is just going to hook onto that one. Okay, we're just going to hook that jump ring. And then we are going to add another jump ring on there. It will get open, but I just figured I'd go ahead and add it. Okay, then we're going to open this other jump ring that I just added. And this is a little complicated, but it's going to look pretty at the end, I think. Okay, then we are going to add our chain to this one. I think. And we are going to add our gemstone. And we're going to close that one up now. And make sure it's good and tight. Oops. Or you could just smash it like I did. Okay, so that's our top. Then when we get up here, we're just going to put a jump ring on here and hook these 2 to it. And we will hook on to our connectors out here. So let me get that done real quick. And I want to go through here and then put this on this side. And this on this side. And also one thing you want to keep in mind when you're putting this together is to make sure that you have your strands facing the right direction. Okay, so then that becomes, oops, this. So we have that, we have some chain. I think we have chain. It's kind of crowded on here. Some chain. Okay. Then we have another strand. Then we have some more chain. And our final strand. So that's what you're looking at. Then we're going to hook these all to the connectors as well. So let me get started on that. Okay, so you're just going to open it up, the jump ring. You're going to hook it to your connector here. And on the top one, I want the top strand to go on it, as well as the chain. Okay, and that's going to be on our top one. And then we're just going to close it up really good. Okay. I may have to replace this jump ring because I kind of distorted it, but we'll see how it goes. Okay. And actually on this, I'm going to have to do a double jump ring as well, because that makes it not lay right. So, give me just a second, you guys. It doesn't like me. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm trying to just adjust this so that my chain is on the bottom of that row. So, just working on that. Then I'm going to take this other jump ring and hook it to my connector now. Okay. There's that. Then we're going to take the other jump rings and hook the middle and then the chain to it as well, just like that. And I'm going to get another jump ring, hook it through this jump ring and then through our connector, like that. Oop, I dropped it, you guys. Now if I can just get it to close. Okay. And then finally we're going to put our last jump ring, or set of jump rings, I should say, on the bottom. And we're going to put our bottom strand and I might be able to get this on just like this. I think I can. So I might not need a pair for this one. We shall see. Okay, so this is what we've got so far. And I've got a big mess, so let me untangle this and get the other side done, and I will come back and we will show you the finished product and add our ending chain. Give me just a second, guys. Okay, I'm back, and I got it figured out and untangled, and so this is what we're looking at. Then I'm going to add some pieces of leather to the back to finish off this necklace, only because we already have some chain in here, and so I want to work with a little bit more materials. Plus, it's going to draw in some more black. So I already put my little leather cordons on. They're just these fold-over ones, and I just pinched it. So you guys can do that if you would like, or you can use glue-on ones or whatever you have. And then I'm going to attach this to the back with some jump rings. So give me just a second. I'm going to thread on one of my cord ends, and I'm going to hook it to my connector here. And then close this up. Okay, so there's that. Then on the other side, I'm going to hook it as well, but then I'm also going to add a lobster claw. And I'm adding it to the right-hand side because I am right-handed. And so I want to be able to pull it down with that. So hooking it on this one over here and just closing it up really good. Like this. I need to adjust just a tad. Okay, and then I like to kind of just squeeze the top of my jump ring down just so it meets well and it's flush. So there's that. Then, like say, we're also going to put on a jump ring and a lobster claw on the right hand side. So here is, oh, and I'm off camera. Sorry guys, this one was hard. I chose quite a difficult pattern to do. Okay, and then we are going to put a jump ring on this other side for our lobster claw to hook onto. And so this necklace is probably going to measure out to be about 20 inches. If you want it bigger than that, you can add an extender. But I thought 20 inches with this amount of hanging would be plenty. So there's our back. So here is our pattern. I am going to put this on a form. I'm going to pause you guys and I'm going to put it on a form, and I will bring you back and show you what the final look is. So give me just a second, guys, and let me show you what this looks like. Okay, guys, so this is going to be your final product. And I'm sorry, my stand is a little dusty. I tried getting it clean. It didn't work very well. So there's our little skull and our rose and our gemstone. And this is how your chain hangs here. And it's going to hang in between these. And it's not perfect by any means because it doesn't lay right on this form. However, I think it'll lay right on your neck. So, oh, I'm so sorry. So that is what that looks like. I really like it. I think it's going to be very cute. And I might try it on for you guys. So give me just a second. I'm going to put it on my neck. Okay, so I ended the video too early, but this is what it looks like on. It is not quite big enough for me, personally. I need to add some more leather, because I would like it to sit lower on me. But this is what it looks like on. And I really like it. If I had some more leather, it would sit wider out here. But I really like it. It's very cute. It's very Halloween-y. And so that was my final finished product using the beads from my Jesse James Ambassador pack that they sent me. So, and I really liked the stuff that was in there. This is a little bit of last month's and a little bit of this month's. So, okay. That's everything, guys. And thanks for watching, and I will see you guys on the next video. Bye, guys.